I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it.
Just a couple of rich, disconnected assholes laughing about how wonderful it is to fire striking workers. I remember when presidential candidates would get raked over the coals for announcing how much they love to fire people.
It also means that if you don't like what they do, you can fire them. I like being able to fire people who provide services to me.
But I guess when it's Donald Trump celebrating Elon Musk's courage about firing employees for exercising their rights to strike for better pay and working conditions, unions are left to fend for themselves.
The United Auto Workers Union has filed federal labor charges against both Trump and Musk after the X interview last night. The UAW claims that Trump and Musk threatened and intimidated workers who engaged in protected activities like strikes.
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay. You're all gone.
You know, nothing says make America great again like stripping power away from regular Americans and giving more power and authority over their lives to billionaires that laugh at them. It's weird how Trump's day one promise of authoritarianism and white supremacy convinced lower and middle class conservatives to abandon their own interests in exchange for it. These guys just publicly tell supporters that they absolutely hate them while they cheer on their own demise.
This big standoff between the auto workers and the big three auto manufacturers. Yeah. My question for you, Mr. President, whose side are you on in this?
I'm on the side of making our country great. The auto workers are not going to have any jobs when you come right down to it, because if you take a look at what they're doing with electric cars are going to be made in China. The auto workers are not going to have any. I'll tell you what, the auto workers are being sold down the river by their leadership, and their leadership should endorse Trump. The reason is, you got to have choice. Like in school, I want school choice. I also want choice for cars. If somebody wants gasoline, if somebody wants all electric, they can do whatever they want. But they're destroying the consumer, and they're destroying the auto workers. The auto workers will not have any jobs, Kristen, because all of these cars are going to be made in China. The electric cars automatically are going to be made in China.
Translation. Of course I side with the auto manufacturers. They bribe me to represent them while they screw over their employees at every turn. The reason they won't have any jobs is because I'll support corporations' decision to fire them all for fighting for fair conditions, and I'll blame the unions for it. Trust me, I got MAGA supporters eating out of the palm of my hand. I got them so focused on despising gay and trans people, they have no idea that I'm stripping them of their rights and their livelihoods.
Because you're all people that have a lot of money. I know 20 of you, and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay off our debt. We're going to do all of the things.
So while Trump butters up the people he cares about in private, the folks he's targeting that aren't concerned about whether or not your son is gay, they can see right through him.
You know, Donald Trump's a scab. And, you know, I don't see how we should be putting a scab in the White House.
The ballot box and the bread box, they go hand in hand. Cost of living, the wages that people are making in the working classes, all that ties in with each other.
I'm a one issue vote. I vote for my pocket. What best is going to allow me to take care of my family and have a secure retirement? And Donald Trump is not that. Working class people that had kind of opted out of the race by saying, well, I don't like either candidate, are now considerably more energized with Vice President Harris back in the race and with Governor Walz.
We were in a full-blown strike, and our former president decided to come here and visit a plant that isn't even unionized. So that spoke volumes.
He does not support labor. He does not support the UAW one bit. He's about big business and about himself.
We need harsher penalties against companies and management when they attack workers. Look at Trump's record. That's all you got to do in terms of working class people. He's always screwed them over his entire life.
How working class people could vote for a guy, and I apologize for my language, but a guy that's in gold toilets. Never had a speck of dirt under his fingernails in his whole life. It makes zero sense to me. I'll never understand it.
Do Trump supporters think all those union members are paid off to demand for their rights, and that politicians aren't paid off by billionaires and corporations to eliminate their right to thrive in America? And if they do, how does that make any sense when Trump literally just laughed with and congratulated a billionaire for firing employees for doing just that?
I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, You want to quit? They go on
Yeah.
strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest.
There's no guessing about whose side he's on. They announce it. They even have it written down.
Look, and this thing of playing dumb while he sits on the planes with these billionaires and says I don't know anything about Project 2025. I just fly on the planes with them. You know what it's going to do? One of the goals of that, plain and simple, and they know this has been going on forever. Get rid of labor unions and get rid of the voices that we bring. They can do whatever the hell they want then.
So what does Project 2025 want for America's workers and organized labor? Well, to allow states to ban labor unions, as you just heard Governor Walz say. It would ban all public employee unions. It would also let states waive national minimum wage and overtime laws and eliminate child labor protection so that kids could work in places like mines and meatpacking plants.
You don't even have to listen to Tim Walz or Joy Reid since Trump told you not to. All you have to do is pay attention to what Trump has already done in the 4 years in office that he had.
Today you called President Trump a scab. What do you mean?
He's anti-union. When he became president in 2015, skilled trade workers at Volkswagen voted to organize. The company, as many companies do, broke the law. They delayed their contract when they were fighting for a contract, and because they wanted to wait till President Trump was sworn in at the time, and then he put a anti-union National Labor Relations Board in place, and in essence killed that contract.
Again, they're not hiding it at all. Trump openly represents the aggressive interests of corporate employers' ability to stamp out any fights over working standards. They say that companies won't build cars or come to certain states and areas when employees are organized to get what they deserve, only because the narrative blames the workers for the corporation's greed. So they hide their commitment to backbreaking greed in plain sight. It's a simple difference in their outlook on America and the promise of opportunity and financial security that they feel should only be offered to the wealthy and connected.
When it comes to these so-called right-to-work laws that deprive us of the right to be able to form unions, fund what we need, Trump has said he supports right to work 100%. You know, you can tell a lot about people in their personal lives. He spent a decade stiffing service workers from dishwashers, waiters, and carpenters on his own properties to enrich himself. As president, he cut overtime benefits for millions of workers, and he opposed any effort to raise the minimum wage.
We're saying we just want fairness. We want dignity for all people. We want to recognize the right all people have to freedom and liberty to make choices, especially those that are about heart and home, and not have their government telling them what to do. Our campaign is about saying we trust the people.